So, how and why did I start exploring with my husband? This is a question I get from men and women about how do I start? How do I get my wife to start with me? How do I get my husband to start with me? So, I'm going to tell you about my personal experience of how I started and have now been exploring for over 20 years. So, I was in my mid 40s or early 40s, married for 13 years. Um, I was a wife, I was a mother, I was an older woman, and my partner and I had been having the same sex for so long, for such a long time. We would discuss possibilities and things that we might want to do, but we were never actually taking the jump into doing it. So when I discovered one day, when my husband came out to me and said that he was potentially bisexual, I knew something was going on because we were distancing from each other. You know, we weren't as intimate. We were going through similar kinds of loops of him kind of wanting more sex and me wanting more intimacy, but not really connecting. And he would be going out, and his stories weren't really clear. So finally, he told me, and it was a shock. I couldn't believe my eyes, couldn't believe what I was hearing. At the same time, it was a bit of a relief because now I knew what was going on. And I took a little bit of time to think about this because what do I do now? Do I leave and go start a life on my own? Or do I stay with him and create a new life? So I really had to deliberate about this possibility. But a big part of it was like me thinking about what about me? What do I want right now? You know, I really did not want to go back and have the same kind of relationship that we had had up to this point. We needed a change. We really needed a change. And we were both quite scared to make any kind of change around the sexual um, because we were kind of stuck in this old way of having sex. So this just sort of burst open the box, right? And now I had to decide, what about me? What am I going to do? And I thought, gee, this is the best. This is a great opportunity. I don't know what I'm gonna do, what direction this is gonna go, how it's gonna look or anything, but I know I can't go back. I know that I love this person very much, and he's been exploring. He's been exploring, and so now I want that opportunity to do this as well. I was terrified. Um, and if your partner is terrified and or you're in a place of you would like to make a change, you would like something, you would like to grow, you'd like to expand, whatever sexual orientation you are, then get in contact with me. Okay, sign up in the description below, the first link in the description below. I'd like to have a chat with you because I'm making a program that's going to really help people in this realm. Okay, so get on a chat. I have some questions for you. But for me, I'm going to go on with my story here. I was really scared, but I was so ready and I was excited. So I said, listen, honey, let's open the relationship, whatever that means. I don't know. Let's just open it and do something different. He was shocked that that's how I reacted. Um, he had expected me to run away, to leave him. He was actually making plans about, okay, she's going to leave me. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. We're going to have to do this with the kids. But I said, no, I love you and I want to be with you. And I know you love me too. And he did very much. So let's go on an exploration together. I need to find out what's going on inside of me. I I have explored and I thought I had explored my sexuality. And he and I were not, you know, we had played around a little bit with each other. We've done a little bit of domination stuff and played some games, but we had never really jumped deeply into other possibilities. So I was scared, but I said, let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's try it. Let's try to make a go of this. Okay. Let's try to make a go of whatever this is. And so we did. And from there, the next 2 months after that decision, we had the best sex that we had ever had in our lives. the two of us just connected so well. It had like burst a bubble in me, a burst, that fear in me of opening up to who I am as a sexual being. I had actually voiced that I'm ready to do this and make a change. So after those 2 months, and things started to calm down a bit, he was like, okay, are you ready? What are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. I guess since you're bisexual, I guess we could try, two guys and me. I was curious to see what did that mean with him and to him. What did that mean with he with another man? What did that look like? I was curious, very curious to sort of see the scenario. But also for me, I had not been with another man for 13 years. And I was excited to see how would I respond to that? How would I act? What would it be like for me? This is when the journey began for me. There were so many blocks that came up along the way, so many fears before we even started, because I suddenly realized I'm a mother. Am I actually sexual? Am I actually beautiful? Or are guys going to be attracted to me? Do I even know what to do? Um, my partner was very eager, very excited because he had this big imagination of all these things he wanted to do now. He heard that I was willing to open the relationship. But I was in a different mode of just trying to figure out, okay, who am I? What do I really want? What's this going to feel like? How do we go about this? And at first he was kind of pushy because he wanted to get going. He wanted things to happen. Um, but then he realized, and I said, listen, we have to go slow. I need to go slow. I need to figure this out. This is scaring me. And so we took it back and started to take a little bit, a little step at a time to I started to learn more about my body. And he and I explored more with the body. Um, I started to break down my beliefs about sexuality for an older woman. So why am I so scared just because I'm in my mid 40s? Like, why am I so scared to have sex with, be open up sexually? So scared to be with other men. Like I'd been with many men before my husband. So why am I scared to go forward? And he's going to be there with me and support me. And the hardest part was I'm a mother. Now there's so much restriction around being a mother. You have to be your mother. You're not a sexual, crazy, wild woman anymore. You're a mother. You have kids. You have to act responsible, which means, not going around having sex with other people, which means looking a certain way and acting a certain way. So I had to break all those beliefs down so that I could step into a new part of me, so I could expand into a new part of me. So it was a process, it was a journey, but I knew that because we were in a long term relationship, we had to make some change. We had to do something different. I wanted to, I desired that so much. So I was willing to go through and figure out what was holding me back, what beliefs were holding me back, what in society was holding me back, what in my own head was holding me back, all of these little things so that I could open up and become this new woman. Open up to that part of me that existed. I was a very sexual woman. I had many partners and boyfriends, and and what happened to that part of me? Well, it's still here. It still exists. It's just that it's been kind of hidden away in that place of tradition, of the beliefs that I was brought up to think were the only way of being. But there's many ways of being and many ways of leading one's life. And as I started to open and day to day, I started to learn more and more about this and started to dig deeper and deeper into myself, started to break down those beliefs. We would take, we didn't just jump into a connection with somebody sexually. We met with people first and sat around and talked about sex, which really is like, that was a revelation to actually meet with somebody and just talk about sex, because that was the purpose of getting together, was to have sex. It wasn't, we didn't want to have a relationship with that person. We didn't want to go to the movies with that person or have, go for dinner. We wanted to eventually find someone that we could have a really fun experience together with. So we would sit down and talk to them about, different questions about what have you done and what do you like, and then they would ask us questions, ask me questions that sometimes I wouldn't know the answer. It would really have to, I would open me up again, like, okay, I have to think about this. What kind of answer do I have for this person around this topic? So doing a lot of these meetings really helped me a lot and really helped me learn about myself and feel more relaxed and then feel more confident. I started to gain so much confidence from those meetings. So it was very much a step by step process that went for many years. I was going to be with this man. So let's take our time. Let's do it so that we're both feeling really comfortable. And after each event, whether it was just a coffee or a drink with somebody, or whether we actually connected with someone and had a play date, I learned something about myself. I expanded in some way. And I had so much fun. I mean, it was such an exciting time of my life with my husband. It was such an exciting adventure to open up to, a whole new world to explore and to experience. So let me help you, because now I have all this great experience and I've had like now 20 years of experience, or 45, 15 years or more, let's say 20 years of some really good experience. I've been coaching people and couples from all over the world. I do have some online programs, but I'm going to make a very special program for people that are working with their partners, trying to find ways to get them involved, helping people feel more comfortable and confident. So if you're interested in helping me out, just go to the first link below and sign up for a chat, and let's find out where you're at. And I want to ask you some questions so that I can make the best program ever. And yeah, I'm really excited to start talking more about this, because I find that many people are stuck in this place of fear. I'm older, whether a man or a woman, you might be a father or a mother. There's that fear of, can I allow myself to do this? Can I allow myself to express my desires? And I want to say, yes, you can. I did it. I have had I would not change it for anything. It expanded me into places that have made me a whole different kind of a person, a whole new world for me, um, different kind of uh, abilities that I never had before. You know, we have this part of us that exists that gets closed down, but when we allow it to open and to expand into a greater part of us, we also gain so much more as this human body being that we are. So I hope that helps you. I look forward to talking to you very soon, and much love, Nikki.